guys, I read this really great book that I want to talk about today. It's called Women in Writing by Virginia Woolf. It is well edited by Michelle Barrett. She compiles Virginia's essays, her articles, even journal entries, which really brings depth to Virginia. The pieces are, as the back of the book says, thought-provoking, which they truly are. The topics are women as writers, and this is kind of like an evolution or a process history of women in literature. They also show this kind of behind the scenes of Virginia's thoughts and inner self of the subject, which was really enlightening. There's so many good essays, so many articles, so many journal entries that are just great that I could talk about, but I want to pick one today. It's the first one. It's titled Women in Fiction. This essay was published March 1929 in the Forum, but is reprinted in Granite and Rainbow. There are two paragraphs that really grabbed my attention and got me thinking differently and actually got me really excited about writing. So before I talk about them, I want to just kind of build up what this essay is about until I reach them, because then it'll make more sense. She takes us on a short history of showing how women as writers were mostly quiet throughout the history of literature. And it wasn't until the late 18th century to the 19th century in England when women started to write and publish novels. But then she shows how they were actually criticized for their work because it was boring or it was too feminine, and who would read that? And so she pointed out how most of those female writers, even though they now had rights to marry whom they wanted, and they weren't complete pieces of property, even though we know they kind of were. Did I say that? Their experience was limited to their house, to being a mother, to being a wife, to darning, to needlework, because they weren't allowed, in fact they were scorned if they went out beyond that. Whereas the men, they could become sailors, they could become war heroes, they traveled the world, and that is where they drew their writing from. So this is where we come to the two paragraphs that I want to talk about. She goes on saying that the women were not only affected by their limited writer's experience, but also from another characteristic. She brings up two books, Middlemarch and Jane Eyre, of how that you are aware of more than just the character's presence, like you are with Charles Dickens, but you are aware of a woman's presence, like someone resenting the treatment of her gender and pleading for its rights. And so she talks about this brings forward an element that is often found in women's writing and not in men's, unless they're a working man or minority, or for some reason someone who's conscious of a disability. She says it introduces like a distortion and almost a weakness that is like the desire to plead your case, to have your character be your mouthpiece, to stand on this literary soapbox, has a distressing effect on your writing. She says that the genius of Jane Austen, who is my favorite, and Emily Bronte shows that they had a serene mind, a powerful mind to be able to let go of the anger and just write. So we end these two paragraphs with something I'd like to quote, because this sentence really just grabbed my attention and I constantly think about it. She says, "The vision becomes too masculine or it becomes too feminine. It loses its perfect integrity and, with that, its most essential quality as a work of art." I began to think of it as, I shouldn't write from the standpoint of, I'm a woman writer. And even men, you shouldn't write from the standpoint of you're a male writer. Write from the viewpoint, from the standpoint of you are a writer. You have something to say, you have a message. Write from a place of an artist, a writer who's creating a piece of art. That is what I got from this. I just wanted to share with you this one part, and I hope that it inspires you. I suggest reading this book, all of it, because there are so many things that could help you as a writer, no matter your gender. When I was preparing for this vlog, I was going back over this essay, reading it and thinking, oh, I'll put this in, I'll put that in, because there's so many great things. I mean, just to grab a snippet was really difficult because the whole essay, the whole darn book is amazing. If you enjoyed this vlog, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know if you've read this book or if you have viewpoints about this subject also. Also, you can share this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel.